all right. Okay. I hope you all can see me. I think over the past couple of weeks we've had a little bit of an issue with streaming quality, and I think it was because I'm trying to rebroadcast and something is not working right. I've stopped it on Twitch, so I'm just on YouTube right now, and I think we're doing okay. And we're going to go with that. So, with that, what we're going to paint this week, where am I at? Is that little guy. That is a Sandpiper. They are all around here, running around the beaches, having a good old time, darting in and out of the water as it laps the shore. It's just into baby season for them. I think we're getting a little through it, maybe. Anyways, they're running all around. They're cute little shorebirds. I love watching shorebirds run around. Liza's here. Hello, Liza. Good to see you. And as I look at the transmission quality, it looks like it has gone up. Delana is here. Welcome, Delana. Okay, a couple of things. Let's get this out of the way. First of all, new camera placement down here. I think before, if I looked at the camera, I was looking off to the side. I'm looking more right at everybody now, so that's great. Liza, this is my baby finches. Flew out of their nest yesterday. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's sad because you probably aren't going to see them again, but that's great. The paper that I'm using is Bao Hong paper. I got it in a roll. I unrolled it. I cut it out. I wet it. I pre-wet it to flatten it out. Put it between a couple of boards. It's nice and flat. Drew my image. We'll go on from there. I'm back to using my King Art brushes. These are the 90-20 series, the pointed round series. I love these brushes. And my paints over here on my right hand side in my palette that is disgustingly dirty. Sorry about that. These are my M-gram paints, and these are the studio paints that I have been using for years and years and years. So if you would like to know about any or all of these as we go forward, let me know, and I'm happy to talk about it a little bit. I think what I'm going to start with, if we look at the background of this picture, let's pull up my reference photo. You can see the very top of the photo. Let's take the bird out of the photo. Right, at the very top of the photo is some nice light wave action, some nice couple of different blue hues in there, a little light areas for the froth on the waves. Then as we move forward, we can see there's a kind of an intermediate area where it kind of gets gray or a little brown gray, and then we come up into some sand. So I'm going to try to paint that on here first. I know everybody's going, wait, hold on, you never paint the background first. I'm going to try to paint the background first. So we're just going to go with that. Dwayne is here. Hello, Dwayne. And Anna Juanita is here. Hello. Great to see you guys again. I'm glad you could make it. All right. So for me, I'm going to, well, I told you I was going to use my King Art brushes, and then I just grabbed this big old brush. This is a Raphael soft aqua brush, faux squirrel hair in here, but I actually really love this brush. So let me mix up just a basic light blue wash over here. If there's a little bit of gray in it, that's fine. And I'm just going to put some color on here. I want this color to be really light in the background, especially way up at the end. Tom Travers is here. Travers. Sorry. Tom is here. Wow, the whole gang is getting back together again. This is fantastic. I'm trying to go around. The bill of this bird, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a wet edge right here. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to leave a little bit of a wet edge. Hopefully that stays wet and I don't get a big tide line here. And then I'll be able to continue that down while I do some additional work on this side over here. But I'm working hard at leaving this very light, maybe get a little bit of cobalt in here too. Trying to leave this color very light. Let me make sure I'm in the center so y'all can see what I'm doing. And just pull this. Now, sometimes, I will say, sometimes I don't mind if I go over the lines a little bit into my image. Sometimes I don't. It depends on what the color is. I happen to know that with blue, if you go over your image with blue, oftentimes you've then got an image that just has a big blue mark in it. Blue as an undertone is a very strong color. So I'm trying to stay away from that. I know there's a couple of comments in the chat. I'm going to get to them in a second. I want to make sure I get this in while it's still wet, and I don't end up with some horrible tide lines here. I'm going to pull this blue down just as far as I dare. Let's see, if I look at this reference photo, the water really comes down about to his knee. It goes backwards here, almost to his knee. So I'm going to work just past that, and then I'm going to come back to that with color on the other side. Woo. Trying to work fast, come on. And of course, as I'm doing this, I pre-wet this paper a little bit. I'm putting a lot of color on it right now, and so it's starting to buckle just a little bit. We'll deal with it. I'll just put a finger on it and hold it down. We're going to deal with it. And before I get too far, okay, there's my water line. Before I get too far, I got this one little puddle right here, if you guys can see that. I'm going to pull that out of there. There we go. And now I can switch to, I'm going to switch to an ochre-y color. An ochre-y color. Ochre-y, come on. An ochre-ish color. And I can take this kind of right up into the front of that water. And I'm going to let these kind of combine and just have a little fun playing together. Right? Why would you not? Have some fun playing in the water there. And with a little luck, we won't have a tide line anywhere. can pull this down. And then this will give us our first base coat. Then I can stop for a second. I feel like I need to rush. I need a little bit more water is what I need here. All the way down, Michael. Down, 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 down. And then we're gonna have story time. I think we haven't had story time. Well, it's been a week. It's been 2 weeks. I'm sorry. So we gotta have some story time. All right. Okay. There we go. So now you can see general blue or gentle blue, nice soft blue up here. Coming down, you can see where our kind of shoreline is at. It's back there far. It's kind of misty a little bit. It's out of focus. And then our bird is standing somewhere towards us up here in the front. We just have some nice, it's ochre. It's a sandy color. It's something like that. Okay, cool. So now we can let this dry and we can chat for a minute. Dwayne V says, yes, love the Raphael brushes. I bought this brush specifically to do plein air painting with. And I think I bought it because, what's his name? There's a guy, Tim Wilmot uses these, or I think it's him that used these. And I bought it and I was like, this is fantastic. But it's an expensive brush and I never bought the rest of the set. So I only have the one. Uh-oh. Liza says, can everyone else see him? I'm gone. Liza, I came back. He's back. Okay, Liza, I'm back. Okay. Getting the band back together. Right. Let's see. Okay, so everybody, I hope, had a wonderful week up to this point. I missed last week. There was a lot going on for me last week, but I did, and I posted it on Instagram. I did do a watercolor painting on Thursday, and started it on Thursday, finished it yesterday. I'm hoping this weekend to put a regular video together so everybody will be able to log onto the channel, take a look at it, and watch just a standard video at your leisure. I've been asked a million times to do it, so this video is a fish that I caught out at the lake that I typically fish at. You can see my big hand in there if you want to take a look at that. So hopefully that'll be coming out on the weekend at some point in time. What else do we have going on? Don't forget, this is May. Our May challenge is flowers. So challenge yourself to do a flower painting. I'm going to do mine, not next week, but the following week. If you have any suggestions about what you would like to see me do, let me know. I was thinking like 2 or 3, probably 3. 2 is an odd number. But a couple of calla lilies, right? I have plenty of calla lilies that grow in my yard. They're beautiful. These big kind of, they're not trumpet shaped, but they're kind of trumpet shaped flowers. Some very subtle colors in there. For me, they're a big challenge because they are such subtle colors. But I kind of want to try to do that. I want to get better at flowers. In general, I don't think I'm all that good at painting flowers, but I want to get better at that. So if you want to partake in that, and then you could put the it's not an entry, but what you did into the challenge area in my Discord server, and we can all talk about it. Liza says, I've been making floral magnets for friends and family to use on their refrigerators. Oh, nice. Nice. I don't even know. I don't think we even have magnets on the fridge. Oh, we have a couple of magnets on the fridge at my house. I was going to say, I don't think we have too many. Ooh, I'll tell you what. It's cold outside here. I live on the West Coast, It's cold outside. I put this sweatshirt on, and now that I'm sitting in my studio, whew, it feels quite hot. Ginger is here. Hello, a bearded iris. Okay, a bearded iris. I'm gonna write. Hang on. Let me get a pencil. Let me write this down. Bearded iris. Those are the ones. They're like a blue with like a yellow line in the center. Is that right? I can look them up. I'm not gonna look them up right now. But yeah, okay, bearded iris. I like that. That's a great suggestion. Okay, I'm almost dry enough that I can continue on with this. What else is going on? So many of you know, Dwayne and I are fishermen. I've talked about it here before. I started a fishing YouTube channel. That's pretty exciting. In fact, I got it right here. My little, there it is. My GoPro I take out with me on Saturday when I go out fishing. And while my YouTube channel hasn't done much, my associated TikTok channel has done quite a bit. And I'll tell you the story while I'm waiting for this to dry, and we're getting there. There's a funny story about it. So my kids call me a fish bully because I've gotten pretty good at catching, largemouth bass. That's really all I target, right? I've gotten pretty good at catching them. And I have access to about 1.5 miles of shoreline on this lake. And I'll walk out there and almost anywhere I go, I know I can catch fish. And people will come and they'll come up next to me, not next to me, but 10 yards or 20 yards away, and they'll fish and they won't catch anything, and I'll just catch fish and catch fish and catch fish in front of them. I think this past Saturday I caught probably 20 fish, and then on Sunday I probably caught another 15. And people are always looking at me, and they're like, "What's going on?" Well, so I was almost at the end of the lake last Saturday, and a couple of people came to the very end of the lake, and they're across a little cove from me, and I had seen them there before. Just hang with me for a minute. I'd seen them there before, and I've never seen them catch a fish. But I'm down there, and they were there for about 5 minutes when I hooked into my first fish. And they were all chatty and talky and everything like that. I caught my fish, and they can see right over at me, and they can see, and I'm catching a fish. Okay, well, the volume on their side of the cove just starts to go down. About 5 minutes later, so I caught another fish. All of a sudden, dead quiet, nothing, right? And then a few minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, whatever it was, doesn't matter. I caught a third fish before either of them caught another fish. And I see one guy on the other side kind of go like to his buddy, "Hey," like this. And the other guy, and I could hear him because he's on the water, right? And the sound carries. I hear him. He goes, "Oh, that's Cowboy Hat Man. He always catches fish here." And so I almost started laughing. I came back and I told my wife, "Hey, somebody called me Cowboy Hat Man," and told her the story. She's like, "Oh my God, you got to name your channel Cowboy Hat Man." So now I'm Cowboy Hat Man. What's my secret to catching all these fish? It's very simple. Be patient and think about what the lure is going to look like to the fish, not to the fisherman, right? I've got one here. I do a lot with soft plastics. This one is a little broken, but I do a lot with soft plastics, and a lot of it is about thinking what the fish will do with this, right? I can't move it more than 6 or 8 inches at a time. If I move it 2 feet at a time, which it's very easy to do, it's out of the fish's sight. They're never going to see it again. If I hop it 6 inches at a time, I've probably got 4, 5, 6 hops in front of them that they can see it. I don't think people understand that. It's a weird thing to me that people don't understand it, but I don't think people understand it. And now I've just given away everything I'm going to talk about on my fishing channel here. You can all go out and catch a million fish. Right? There's a little bit more to it than that, but that's it. I figured that out a couple of years ago after not having fished for a long time and trying to get back into it. And struggling for a couple of months of not catching much of anything. I figured that out. Wait a minute. I'm fishing for what I think the fish would want, not necessarily what the fish want. As soon as I started fishing for what the fish want, boom, everything changed. Okay, so I'm dry enough now. Okay, enough fish talk. We're done with fish talk. If we want to talk fish, we can talk fish, and color and retrieve and tackle and all kinds of that kind of stuff. I'm happy to do that. I would love to do all that. But this is a watercolor channel, so let's get back to painting some watercolors. So if I look at that, I almost pointed over there. If I look at that bird, he's got some wonderful colors on him, but they are a little bit subtler. And I'm going to paint this guy, and this is going to sound a little funny because you don't see it, I'll bet you, if you just take a look at it. In fact, let me do this. Let me open this bigger picture up. Here you go, so you can see it. So obviously you see there's some tans on there, right? There are obviously some browns, some light browns, some tans, some colors like that. But if you dig a little deeper and you look a little closer, I'll bet you could see some oranges in there or some yellows in there, in addition to the tans and browns. So I'm going to try to work in some of those other colors into this. Okay, and it's going to be a little hard to do because as soon as you start to factor in some of those yellows and oranges, then it's easy to let your colors go a little sideways. And I don't want to do that. So we're talking subtle colors here, or I'm hoping we're talking subtle colors. If we're not, that's completely my fault. The back and sides look braided. Oh yeah. Right. So it is. It's definitely, to me, I look at it and it looks like it's wearing like a tweed jacket or something like that. It's definitely got a very distinctive pattern on it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this color on, and maybe I should have gotten just a slightly larger brush. Could have put it on a little faster, but that's okay, because I want to be able to come back and put in a few areas up here. Let's see, I can do this all the way out here. Everything except for those couple little feathers right at the end. Okay, and now I want to come back with some warm brown, and while we're still wet, I want to add a few areas in here that I think are just going to help us when it comes to our second layer of colors. Kenya's here. Hello, Kenya. Welcome. I'm glad you can make it. And I don't know if this is going to turn out to be, exactly like the bird that we're seeing in a reference photo. In fact, I hope it doesn't. I've talked plenty of times. I don't want to duplicate my reference photo because I've got a reference photo. I can always see that. I want to use that more as a bit of inspiration and take it from there and then kind of build on that and have some fun with it. I do want to, pay homage to the original image. I don't want to, mess it up or anything like that, but but I don't feel constrained to have to paint just what I see there. Okay, cool. So I've got some stuff going on here. There we go. A couple of nice colors, and so if I look at this, what I think needs to really happen, especially with these light colors, is well, first of all, we got to get on some dark colors to give us some contours, but we really have to nail the shape. So we've got to figure out how to make this, which is very flat, look round and lifelike like that. And so what I'm seeing is there's kind of a crescent here that isn't going to get a whole lot of more color onto it. And there's a little bit under here and the white over its eye that's not going to get a whole lot of other color. And then we've got to shape the rest of this body. This is going to be fun to do. It's going to be fun to do. All right. That's actually drying a little quicker than I thought it would. Let's see if we can get in and do... So I do like to... I do like to work a little fast sometimes. Oop, yep, man, that's probably a little too fast. That's on me. Okay, cool. So let's do this. I've got this dark color here. There's a little bit of green to it, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. Let's not use that. Let's get some Paynes Gray, a little bit of the sepia. Come on, sepia, you can work. There we go. And let's get a kind of a neutral gray, a little warm neutral gray going here. And let's paint some of these legs on here, right? Now everybody's quiet tonight. Everybody's quiet. Is that because I've been gone and you're just hanging on everything I say? I gotta peel back the curtain a little bit. It's really weird sometimes because I always walk the line between I want people to talk and say things all the time because it makes me feel good that a conversation is going on. But then if too big of a conversation goes on, I can't hear or I can't understand it because I'm not looking at it. And then I'm like, oh man, I missed something. So it's, for me, it's a really funny juxtaposition of, do I look up and hope somebody says something, or do I look up and hope there's nothing there that I have to respond to and I can just continue painting on? We're all tired from doing yard work. I've been saved from yard work. Last week I did yard work, and then my son didn't take out our green bin, which we put all our yard waste in, which meant oh, too bad I can't do any more yard work. I had to take last weekend off from last weekend. It's still the first half hour still setting up. All right, I get it. All right, let's see. This is pretty dry up here. Some of the usual chatters are not here. Okay, well, that's okay. Let's see. That's a little more than I want. I'm trying to really adjust these colors to what I want. Okay, so here's a little area where I want some color to be. Oh, Sherry's here. Hello, Sherry. Some of the, flies of blackberry bushes. Wait, did you say you're doing blackberry? Oh, our demons are blackberry. Oh, Antonina said, your demons are blackberry bushes. I'll tell you what, send your blackberry bushes out to me. I grew up with blackberry bushes, and I would gladly deal with them for a while just to be able to get the blackberries. I have some boysenberries here, but it's not quite the same. I don't get the same enjoyment out of my boysenberries as I do out of the blackberries that I used to eat. Well, of course, I do have a slight issue with that too, is that my chickens keep eating all my boysenberries, despite my best efforts. The girls keep getting in there and eating, and they eat my blueberries too, which doesn't make me happy. I built a little fence around everything, and they still get to my blueberries, which really kind of upsets me. Okay, cool. So what I want to do, I'll let you in on what I want to do here, is I want to start layering a little bit, and you can see that I've done a little bit to give some lighter areas here and to enhance these darker areas. I hope you can see it. It's probably still pretty subtle, but it's there, right? You can see how I'm just starting to build up some of these areas. You know, I'm going to put a little bit of orange in my mix here, and this should be dry enough. I think I want a little bit more orange than that. I think I want to come down here. How far back does this go? This goes all the way back. Okay, cool. I'm not going to do too much. Don't do too much, Michael. Just kind of put a little color and keep moving. If I do a little color and keep moving, a little color and keep moving, I can get this tinted exactly the way I like. Plus, it'll dry a lot faster, and we can, I got a big hump down here I didn't even put on this bird, and it'll dry faster, and we can just keep moving and moving and moving. Bigger areas are a little bit more problematic, or more water, wetter areas are a little bit more problematic. But already that dark under there helps to set this wing off. That's a good start. Well, Aliz says, when I was young, I drank and loved blackberry brandy. Interesting. You're attempting to eat a little shop of horrors. That's funny. My youngest son was just in Little Shop of Horrors last month. His high school did the Little Shop of Horrors musical. So how about that one? That was a lot of fun. But yeah, you're right. Blackberries can really get you if they want to. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to go around the head. I want to leave some lighter areas around here, right? He's got a light area right around his head. I want to make sure I leave that. Usually I leave a really light spot right around the entire eye. I don't know that I'm going to do that this time. Maybe I'll just do like the under half of the eye. And I'm going to just very softly blend this in. We're going to keep going around and I hope, like I said, I hope you all can see this. I know that there's some subtle colors, but I think you can see how it's coming there, right? A little darker on the bottom side here, a little lighter on the top side. In fact, if we pull that around, I think I can go even a little bit more here. Let's do this. Right down his back. There's probably some darker colors. Let's give him a little bit more emphasis here. Really light, right? I'm using almost almost no water, almost not touching the page. I just want to blend this in a little bit. You know what, I'm going to put a little bit more orange right under here too. But I don't want to take away all these light spots that are up here. I want there to be some texture on his head. Blackberries were never ending source of chaos and angst where I lived in Oregon, which we could never get rid of them. Oh my God. I don't mean to laugh about that. I grew up on a farm property. We didn't farm the land so much, but we were left everything that the previous farmer had left there. I just remember going out, and our blackberry bushes were massive, and I used to love to get in there. I would put on welding gloves. My dad's welding gloves. I'd put on a shop robe, you know, leather shop robe. I would do anything I can to get into those blackberries because I loved them. They were so good, but yeah, they're a bit dangerous. They definitely have it out for you. Okay, this guy's got a wing here. I'm going to connect these two areas. I'm going to attempt to connect these two areas, I guess, is what I'm going to say. Does that look like his wing? That's awfully low. I did that too low. Let's see if I can push that up a little bit. I think I didn't make his wing big enough. All right, we'll be able to fix that. We'll totally be able to fix that. And like most things, if you want to be able to get the perception of something being round, and I don't know exactly why it is, but we need something that's a little darker on the edge. So I'm going to see if I can do something like this. I don't want a hard edge here. I don't want it to be too dark, but I want it to be just dark enough. That's going to pull into the center a little bit. There you go. Oh, I should say, now hang on a minute. We had a holiday since we were here last time, so I have to say, I hope everybody here either had a good Mother's Day or spent time with their mother on Mother's Day. I totally right on past. Like that was last weekend, right? So I hope everybody had a lovely Mother's Day. I certainly hope everybody had a lovely Mother's Day. Could spend time with either your mother and or your children, maybe your spouse if that's the thing you wanted to do. I spent Mother's Day with my wife and mother-in-law and kids. We had a nice day out, a drive around town, went to a nice restaurant. It was quite a lovely afternoon we spent. So hope you all were able to do something like that also. How did I forget all of Mother's Day? Totally forgot. That's not cool. Kenya, you had a wonderful day. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. In all honesty, I didn't send it. My wife was nice enough, because she's fantastic, to send a bouquet of flowers to my mother. And my mother lives halfway across the country, or 3/4 of the way across the country. And, you know, we got a nice bouquet of flowers for her. And she got them, and they were so big that she decided to separate them and into a number of different bouquets, and they're set up in different places around her house. Well, I didn't know they were going to be quite that big. I'm fine. I'm happy that they were that big. But she sent pictures along of these flowers all around her house, and I looked at it and I was like, did you take your flowers for a walk around all the different rooms of your house just so you can take pictures with them? She's like, no, that's silly. She goes, there were so many of them that they wouldn't all fit in one vase or in one room, so I separated them. Okay, well, that makes a bit more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, we're building up some colors here, and no, we're already past the point where I think we kind of look like that bird. Whoops, again, I'm pointing that way, like that bird. But I think that's okay. I think it's totally okay. I think our bird's gonna look better. Look, we can see right down here, you can get the impression of that wing coming up there. Get the impression of a little indentation here where its neck comes into its body, right? Before these wings come out. You get the indication here of where the skull of this bird is, and you can see the roundness of it a little bit. I can tell I'm already to the point where I need to be a little careful. It could be so easy to get too dark too quickly here. Start thickening my layers. I don't really want to do that. Sometimes it happens. I don't want to do that. Alright, okay, come on, guy. Let's blend you up too. Blend you up that way. And I think the head of this is really kind of starting to look like the head of this bird. Give me a little brighter color here. I don't know, something like that. This is going to look nice. This lighter area right here, when we get a nice dark eye in there, that's really going to look nice. And I'm keeping everything kind of warm here, and I'm a little worried about it. I might have to do a glaze of something a little cooler on here. I don't want this bird to come off as being so bright it's like in your face. I'm a master blender. I don't know about that. I do like to blend my colors. Nice big long graded washes. I love doing that. I don't know if I would ever be called a master at it, but I'll take the compliment anyways. Thank you. All right, look, cool. Yeah, I'm totally like the way this is shaping up around here. It's a little warmer than I want. I'll admit we might have to do something with that, but I like the way this is going. And I want to, and I like this down here, right? This pushes that wing up or keeps that in the back. In fact, that would be a good opportunity to put, in fact, if I could, which I'm going to do this, I'm going to probably screw the whole thing up. If I could give just the essence of some blue, well, I can't do it right now regardless because it's damp. So I'm going to move on to a leg. We got a few people in chat right now. There must be a few new folks in here. If you're new, say hello. Love hearing from everybody when you stop by. I like talking to people. That's why I do the lives. So if you're not afraid, and you don't have to say anything, but if you're not afraid, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. if you're a watercolorist, I'd love to hear where you're at on your watercoloring journey. If you have anybody who's new here and you have any questions, throw them out there. I'm pretty open about answering almost any question. I'm certainly open to answering questions about my watercolor journey. I'm open to answering questions about how I use color, or why I paint the way I do, or lots of art theories. Oh, yes, Dwayne. Oh, great. Dwayne's saying everybody give a thumbs up, or I don't. Well, maybe not, Dwayne. I think you are. Just looked up. Everybody hit the like button if you would. The more likes I get, the higher I get on YouTube's algorithm. It really helps me out. That would be fantastic if you would do that. I don't know, Dwayne, if that's what you meant, but that's what I took it as. Liza says hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Liza. That might have been a case where I probably could have seen a little better what was going on had I looked up a little sooner. But yeah, everybody, if you could do that, that would be awesome. Would greatly appreciate that. Let's see. I'm dropping some color in right now. We're waiting for the whole bird up here to dry a little bit more. And then we're going to come in and have some more fun with everything. Whoop. I've got, just to keep the conversation going, I've got 3 different water containers up here. One that is really dirty, one that is mostly dirty, and one that is awfully clean. So if you ever wonder how I get a clean brush, that's kind of how I do it. The big one, I've got a big bucket of water up there that I always put stuff in, and then 2 smaller ones for secondary cleaning, and one that is only for a brush that's previously been washed. Yep, this is an awesome oh, thank you. My weekly inspirational watercolor painting reset. Wow. Wow. All right. Let's see. Now I'm actually gonna go and I'm gonna get some of the sepia and I'm gonna put it up here. Straight sepia. And I'm gonna warm it up a little bit. I'm gonna put some burnt umber just to warm this up a little bit. If I went just totally sepia, I think it would be too much. I don't want to do that. But he's got he's got a tail here. Sometimes I don't know if I should look up there or if I should look here. He's got a tail here, and if you look at his tail feathers are pretty dark. So I'm gonna attempt to start to paint on a dark tail feather. Here's one. And here's one. And I think I need to turn this over because I need to do a very fine line. I think that will work smashingly. Here's one. And they have just a little tiny bit of white in between them, so you can see that they're individual feathers there, which really matches the bird, the actual bird. Ah, cool. So we got some dark in there, and I like how that dark kind of offsets things a little bit. Jamie's here. Hello, new here. Self-taught, painting a while, mostly landscapes and florals. Cool. Sandpipers are your favorite birds. Okay, cool. Well, I hope that sandpipers are your favorite birds. I hope this turns out good enough that you give it the seal of approval. I have been known to start off really good and somewhat tail off from there, but we're gonna make sure this stays looking really nice. Jamie, do you live by the beach? Do you see sandpipers a lot? Or you just saw them and went, that's a cool bird? I really like that, which is kind of cool too. I like these guys. They're so funny when you get out and watch them. They run out to the, you know, the wave will come in and they run in, and then the wave will go out and they'll follow the wave out, and they're the whole time they're digging in the water and looking at things and whatnot. Really kind of fun to watch them. And they'll run around with the plovers and the avishays and all kinds of other birds out there. But they're a lot of fun to watch. I would say I love Michael's blending ability and brush precision. Woo! That's not anything to live up to. My brush precision. I'm going to give you a brush precision tip. Paint quickly. Go over your spot a couple of times. Over, 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 not touching. Get the line right and go quickly. Touch, boom, and be done. And it helps a lot. In Western Massachusetts, lived in California for 20 plus years. All right, cool. Cool. I've been in California for, oh my God, I've been in California for 19 years now. Wow. Wow. Like, that's a long time. You don't think about it so much as it's happening. What part of California? I grew up in SoCal. I'm in Central California. Jamie, if you're comfortable, I mean, we're all pretty nice here. We just want to be friendly. But if you're not comfortable, just that's cool too. Oh, come on. I need a little bit more water here. Give me some of this color. Give me a little bit of this orange. This is Azo Orange that I'm using too. So I said I'm doing everything a little bit warm. This Azo Orange really is hardcore orange here. It can really get bright in a hurry if you let it. I think the good thing for me is that my Azo Orange is a little dirty, and it's probably not going to get quite as bright as it should be. Long Beach. Oh, now, I lived in Long Beach. All right, Jamie, here's a question for you. I used to love to go to little kooky little spots to eat. Did you ever eat at Chuck's in Long Beach? I don't even know if it's still there. I haven't been to Long Beach in a long, long time. I lived in Long Beach for a decade. I used to love to go down to Belmont Shore and go to Chuck's. Chuck's motto or theme of their whole restaurant is that we are locally world famous. I just thought that was the funniest slogan you could have. You're locally world famous. I love Chuck's. Liza was out here in when? 1980? Oh, that would have been a good time to be out here. Chuck's. And here's another. And Kenya, you too. Oh, you were in Fountain Valley. Did any? What's the name of it? Oh my God. If I can't remember this, my wife is gonna throttle me. Shiza. What was the name? Uh-oh. Now there was a famous bar or pub in Long Beach, and I can't remember the name of it. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Okay, I gotta, hang on a second. I gotta find this out. Moved. Ginger moved from St. Louis, go Cardinals, to Southern California in 1996. Now we live in Westchester. Oh, Westchester's a nice area. Hang on. It is... Oh my gosh, I can't find it. Oh, she's gonna kill me if she ever watches this back. Oh, I can't even find it. Oh, Joe Jost. There it is. Joe Jost. That's the name of it. Sherry, what does Sherry say? I'm oh no. Sherry, oh Sherry, I'm sorry. Wow. Wow. Sherry, my heart goes out to you. Okay, here we go. So you can see here how I've defined that wing. It's a nice gentle area around here. Wow. Jamie, you got a huge family. Holy cow. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna keep painting. Let's see, building up. Give me a little bit of this. That's gonna, a little bit of this brown. This sepia. I can blend this in a little bit. Maybe this will take a little bit of this brightness out of this. Clean water, tap my brush off. Clean water, I got a towel right here. Tap, 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 tap it off. I used to always, I don't do it always anymore. I've got a little tray here that I tap into too, but I always used to carry extra towel in my hand so that as I need to judge the water in my brush, I can just do it right there. All right, I'm gonna get down to a little smaller sized brush here. I'm gonna go back to my, this is a mix of Quiacridone Red and Pyrrol Red, Quiacridone Rose, I'm sorry, and Pyrrol Red. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? I'm gonna do this on this side. And I'm gonna make a couple lines here on his beak. Does anybody know? Is this a beak or a bill? It's a shorebird. It's not a water bird. Water birds have bills. Land birds have beaks. But this is kind of in that gray area. So I don't know if this is a beak or a bill. I'm assuming it's a beak, but I don't know that. I don't know that. Sherry, I'm not ignoring anything. I feel badly, but I'm just gonna keep painting. Oh my Lord, Ginger, you're one of 9. Wow. Holy cow. You guys have giant families. I've got me and my brother, and my wife was an only child. Holy cow. I wouldn't know what to do with a family that big. How did you all get along? How did you all fit in a house? Holy cow. Did you all share rooms? You have to, don't you? Holy cow. 9. That's outstanding. All right, a little color here. I think I'm going to put, let's see, Sherry says, I made friends with a woodpecker. You've used it every day for the last 2 weeks. Wow. Kenya, Kenya, you're guessing it's a beak. I would guess it's a beak too, but will admit I'm not certain at all. I've got my little brush. I'm going to put a little bit of Paynes Gray in the eye here. The eye should be fairly simple because it's just a black eye. So there shouldn't be too much to do with it other than get the shape right and then put a highlight on it. Okay, so but we are missing one kind of major thing here. Kind of. You know, what are you going to do? A kind of a major thing, which is, right, all of those cool spots here. And I'm kind of hedging a little bit because once again, I don't have a great plan on how those are going to go on. I just don't. But I think we can figure it out as we go. I think we could figure something out. Okay, cool. I've got some water. I don't want this to not be connected somehow. So I'm trying to get these colors to connect, even if it's very subtly up here. And I may have pushed it just a little too far, but the good news is we can always pick and pull at some of this a little bit to make it a little bit better. Okay, I like that. I like that a little bit darker underneath there. I like that a little bit better. Yeah, I think we've taken this a little too far. We need to pull a little bit of color off of here. Let's round this just ever so slightly. Does that look better? I think that looks a little bit better. I'm not sure that looks better. Let's see, Ginger says, 4 sisters in one room, 5 brothers in one room. Oh my Lord, mom and dad in one room, and my grandmother in one room. Wow. And you all shared one bathroom. You couldn't do that today. Oh, that's a lot of people in one place. Wow. 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 Kenny says, you love finches. Kenny says, Sherry, a robin built her nest on my house and hatched 2 babies. Oh, I watched her feeding them today. So cute. That is. And Jamie says, girls in one room, bro and me in another room. Wow. It's like, so is that a big room or did you all have like bunk beds? At that point, it's almost a barracks. It's a lot of people. Oh my Lord. Liza says, Ginger, we had an outhouse. We had an outhouse, 1 bathroom, and then moved to 2 bathrooms. Wow. I can't imagine sharing a bathroom with that many people. Oh my God. Liza, your uncle had 10 kids and 1 bathroom. Oh, jeez. That's cool. I mean, back in the day, it was, I guess not nearly as big a deal, but today, holy shnikey. You couldn't do that today, could you? I don't think so. That's a crazy amount of kids in one house. Okay, so we are to the point where we need to make a couple of decisions. I'm going to delay my decision making. I'm sorry, I'm delaying my decision making. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this upside down, and I'm going to enhance our beach color. Give me a little bit of everything here. I need a little bit more water. So a little bit of burnt umber here, this sepia that was up there, some gamboge, and of course a little bit of yellow ochre, right? A good sand color, and a little tiny tip. If you're painting something like sand and you don't just want to make it brown, one thing you can do, and nobody really notices all that much, is you add a little bit of red to the foreground, and it pulls it, that red, that warm color, that red pulls it immediately forward. Immediately pulls it forward and gives instant depth to everything. Instant depth. It's a little tip there. All right, I think I got that about where I want it. Now I need to clean my brush, and we're gonna blend this out, going up. Everything from that guy back. Jamie says, apologies for typos. Listen, my typos are horrible at my work, so I don't worry about typos. You can have as many misspellings as you want. You can have as many misspellings if you want. Even if you had full sight, that to me is not a big deal. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that part out. Three sisters, three trundle beds. I'm assuming boys was a sewing room had to go through goes to get to ours. Oh my gosh! Wow! Wow! Long time ago. Kenya says, I guess I was lucky. 3 sisters and 1 brother, but we had 4 bedrooms. All right. 4 bedrooms would have made it easier, for sure. Okay, cool. So look. All of a sudden now, he's walking on something, and without doing much, this now looks a lot closer than it does back there. And I'm going to take some more of this dark. Let's see. Get a little bit of that purple-ish color into it. And I don't want to do too much here. But now's the perfect time to add a very subtle shadow for this guy, right? We already talked about it. It's a bit of a foggy day out there, so we'll just give him a little bit of shadow. I think he'll be fine with that. I think this guy's he's gonna be okay. I wanna go back. I'm gonna continue to stall a little bit while I think about how to do this. I'm gonna give a little bit more to his beak here. Oh, man. I grew up in a house. I told you guys I grew up on kind of a farm. It's a farmhouse, a big old house. We had it sounds as though a number of you all would have had something similar. We had a stacked stone foundation on our house. Our house was big enough. It was an old farmhouse. I remember it was always easy to tell how old the house I grew up in was, because in 1980 it was 100 years old. So it was always easy for me to remember how old the house was that I grew up in. In 1980 it was 100 years old. But I remember that when we first moved into that house, we got a nice big rain, and I'm like, I can't go outside. Well, I mean, I could have gone outside, but I didn't go outside. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go down and see what's going on in the basement and play down there. And walked down the basement, and there was about 2 inches of water in the basement because it came through the foundation like it was supposed to. And then 2 hours after the rain was done, the water was gone from the basement. It drained out, and off we went. Trundle bed. Liza said trundle beds. I don't think they make them anymore. I think they do. My mother-in-law has a trundle bed in her guest room. Yeah. A long time ago. Liza says, this is going well. It's getting there. Right? We've done all the easy parts. We let me point at myself. Where can I get outside? We there we go. We need to figure out how to do these spots, this patterning. Jamie says 1980, the year you graduated high school. All right. Well, I wasn't that far behind you. We moved into, so we had some weird things that happened in my house, in the farmhouse, growing up. I'm trying to paint in a highlight. Look at that. Look, I painted in a highlight. We had some weird things that happened in, not really weird, but a little odd in the farmhouse. One of them was when we went through the attic, we found high school photos for like 20 years in the late 1800s. And they were ornately framed, packaged, I don't know what you call it. And the high school graduating class was, I don't know, like 7 or 8 people or something like that. And you see them all dressed up, looking real nice and everything. Not like anything today. And then when we got into the attic, the workers that built the house, I'm assuming that's who it was. I don't really know, but I'm assuming that's who it was. Just left a whole bunch of trash in the attic. So we found all these cool old bottles. We found some cool tobacco containers, stuff like that, just kind of strewn around in between between the trusses, which is really kind of neat. Sherry says, we had 6 boys in one room and 5 girls in the other when I was small. One bathroom. My dad was constantly renovating and made more rooms as we got older, but we moved out. But if you moved out, your room disappeared. I can see how that would happen. All right. Okay. So how do we do this? I think I can handle some lines up here. I like, so, you know, I always talk about, okay, you love bottle hunting. We had some cool old bottles. We found a butter churn. My mother still has there. And when we moved in, we had a phone, right, that you picked up and cranked, and you put one part here and you talked into one part, and when you hung it up, you know, in front of you. Clunk. So you just picked up the ear portion and held it to your ear and talked into the microphone that was in front of you. You wanted to dial it, you just ring, 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 and it only went to the operator. Sherry says, or Eliza says, Sherry, as the kids moved, the rest of us thought they got a room to ourselves. I didn't have that problem, I will admit. I had one brother, and we each, for the vast majority of the time we were there, we had our own room. But the house I grew up in was part of the Underground Railroad, so that was kind of cool. There was a hidden passage between what ended up being my room and my brother's room, and you could just fit doop, doop, doop in and around to get from one room to another. That was kind of neat. Actually, that was really neat. I'll not deny that was pretty neat. Okay, let's get some brown going here, right? Let's throw maybe a little orange in there. Ooh, that's a lovely color. Let's see what that color looks like. I have a piece of paper. Let's see how nice this... I got some scraps. Here's a scrap right here. Let's see how lovely this color looks. Maybe a little more orange. That's better. I like that color better. That's a much warmer color. It's got some interest to it. Look, if I turn it one way, well, you can see brown in there for sure, and then you can definitely see some orange in there. I like that much better. Let's go with that. Put that back. Oh, I'm really going to do this too. How am I going to do this? I think, okay, you know what? I'm formulating a plan here. Now, I've got these. Okay, so I'm going to move this off to the side for a second. I'm going to bring my scrap paper back here. All right, I've got these. And these are Da Vinci Casaneo brushes. They're fantastic brushes. But they don't come to a very big point. And I think, let me try the smaller one first. I think that if I were to, oops, come on, let's get some paint on here. I think that if I were to I don't know. I was thinking that would look kind of feather-ish. Let's see, feather-ish. I'm trying to think, if I put a row on here, could I do it like that? So I was thinking about making all these marks like this, and now that I look at it, actually that's not too different than what's there. Maybe maybe modify that color a little bit. Let's try that. Let's go with that. Let's do that. I don't want to paint all of these the same color. I don't want to paint these all individually. I want this to, you know, have a flighty kind of fun look to it. And I don't think that looks too cheetah pattern-y. I think this will work. And I've got two different sizes of these. So let's see what we can do here. Kenya, thanks for the support. Looks good that way. It's a good way to handle it. I'm looking for anything here. Okay, I think it's to the point where I just have to be brave and do this. And I think it'll work out. So, let's see. All right, let's give a feather here, and then let's alter that color just a little bit. And these are kind of in a row, but just maybe offset a little bit. Feather, 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 feather. You see where I'm going with that? That kind of gives a nice pattern, right? Kind of. I like it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. I think it works. I think it works well enough. Then I'm going to start a whole new row here, 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 here. And these are going to trend up this way. Yes, yes, yes. I've got some I've got to do down here. Let these ones get a little longer down there. Okay. All right. You know what? I don't think that's too leopard-y. Let's give a couple of spots here. And as we get up to the front here, they're going to get a little smaller. All right, I can actually live with that. Throw in some diagonals. Well, why didn't you let me read that? Why didn't you tell me to read that before I did that? I don't know if I can go back. Let's see. Let's give him some up here. Yeah, I don't want a flat one up here. Let's see. How am I going to do this? What's the best way for me to do this? Doot, 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 doot. Oh, I think this is going to work kind of nicely. Doot, doot. Look, we figured it out. I think we got it. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, that's it. Jamie, I hope I'm not mangling a bird that you really like. If I am, I'm totally sorry about that. Let's see, throw some diagonals and the now, and it will work. Let's see. Let's see. Anyone else have a shiny new sketchbook syndrome? These kind of go across. Ooh, I gotta do it the other way. These go across that way, that way. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm wild about that. I think I'm gonna modify this a little bit. Oh, this is not the brush I want. Where's my springy brush? I'm going to modify this a little bit back here. I need to get my test paper out. I think this will make it a little bit better. This will make it maybe a little bit more understandable back here, I think. There we go. All right, I can live with that. I can live with that. Liza says, I got 2 arches from Amazon today after months of no spending on art. You paid 20 for them, and Jerry's wanted 32. I will admit, all of my spending has been going to fishing supplies lately. My wife found out that I've been spending money on fishing supplies and put a moratorium on it for a short amount of time, and the moratorium has just been lifted, and so then I had to go and order some supplies. All right, so we can come in and re-strengthen some color on the legs here. Make sure we have these toes looking just like they're supposed to. I think when I went over it with the sand, I think they got a little washed out. So we've got a little work to do to get this back. Can't you say I spent far too much on watercolor travel journals? I think we all have. That's an issue. It's an issue. You get one and then you go, okay, well, that one was cool. What's this other one going to do? And you buy another one, and then you start a collection. Well, cool, I have this one that I'm going to put this type of painting in, and I have that one that I'm going to put that type of painting in. Or maybe that's just me that does that. But I like to group my things together, and that causes problems from time to time. Let's see, there's a toe here. Well, we got a toe coming off the back of both of these. And now, if you haven't noticed, I have to decide, because it's not really clear. In fact, you can look at my painting. In fact, this is one thing that I think really matches up pretty well. You can look at my painting, or you can look at the reference photo, and I'm going to let you, we're going to take a quick vote. Right? You look at the reference photo. Whoops, here's my painting. Look at the reference photo. Okay. Now tell me, which foot is closer to us? The front one or the back one? Which foot is closer, the front or the back? Take a good look. Front or back? Front or back? Oh, Jamie, you've got a friend who's a book binder. Oh, man. I'd be hitting that guy up for book. I'd be trading him books for watercolor paintings all the time. Front or back foot? Front or back foot? And now look at mine. Front or back foot? I'm gonna say, I don't really know. I'm going to say the front one is forward and the back one is a little behind it. Kenya, I'm with you. I think that's the right call. I'm not sure, but I think that's the right call. And you know what I totally forgot to do? Oh, and I don't think I can go back and do it now. I can do a real fast glaze. I meant to, when I made this darker down here, I meant to come back and make this ever so slightly darker too. So this was light, and then this started to get dark around here. And now it just looks flat. I totally forgot to do that. Shoot. I totally forgot to do that. That does not make me happy. Does not make me happy at all. Because now I got to figure out a way to recover from that happy accident. And I don't want to have to recover from that happy accident. I should have seen that. Let's see, if I put a little shadow here. Right, it's not going to be much. It's just a little bit of dark up here. Hopefully that's just enough indication that that foot is a little on this side, that little dark spot there. That's my hope. Just that little bit is going to pull that foot forward. It's not much. He's a small bird. His feet are kind of close together. What if I do that? There we go. If I do that, now there's a little spot here that's in front of that. That should pull that foot this way just a little bit. Oh, Liza, you have to go. Okay. What am I going to paint next week? I have no idea. I have no idea, but in 2 weeks, we're going to do some form of flower. I'll post it I'll put it in the community channel here on YouTube, and I'll do it in Discord, so everybody knows what I'm going to do. But, honestly, I don't have any idea, but I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. Okay, now if I hadn't been kind of a numbskull about this whole thing, we could have been done by Eliza. Yeah, Eliza, have a great weekend, or a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining. And yeah, I'll let you know. I'll post it so everybody can see what we're gonna do. Oh, I'm so afraid. Quickly now. Quickly. I don't think I can do any more than that. If I do any more than that, I really got to let it dry. But I've got a little bit of color on there. That saved it a little bit. If I do more, I risk taking those spots off of there, and I don't want to take the spots off of there. Why did I not stop and think for just another second? That's okay. It's okay. So this is a good lesson. I'll tell you the lesson I'm going to take from this. And everybody says to me, not everybody, everybody says it. That's the first thing they say when they come up and meet me. No, but I hear a lot of times, oh my gosh, isn't it so hard to do a live stream with people watching, and you don't know what's going to happen? What if you make a mistake? Well, you know what? So much of watercolor anyway is not about stopping yourself from making mistakes. So much of watercolors anyway is being able to recover from a mistake that you have made. We're all going to make mistakes. Things aren't going to go right. Things are going to happen and go sideways, and that's just what happens. So this is an opportunity to recover from that, just ever so slightly. So that's okay. I'm okay with it. You know what I want to do, though, is I really want to lighten up his eyeball right there. Come on. Get a nice big light spot on his eye. And a little spot. All right, cool. I think, unless anybody has any objections, I'm thinking of making one I can remove and replace pages. I can't justify using more paper and sketchbook. I think, unless anybody has any real issue with it, I think I'm going to call this one done. I've got to find my pen. Where's my pen? There's a pen. I'm going to sign this one over here. I don't know, right about here. There we go. I'm going to sign that one. And I'm going to grab a brush of a different color, and we're going to do a little bit of self-evaluation. I have to say, this is not that, but I kind of like the dots here. They work for me in this weird watercolor way. I think I got some good little sprigs of color down here on his legs, and I'm hoping that this is enough to pull that front leg forward a little bit. I could do a little bit more. In fact, ouch. Oh, I just hit my elbow. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit more to help define this foot, right? That goes up just like that. Maybe I should use... All right, that foot goes something like that. Really, really small brush strokes here to help with this. There's that foot. This foot to me is okay. You know, to me, if this foot isn't perfect or if these toes aren't perfect, you know what? You're not going to notice it anyways, because you're not going to look here. You're going to look up here. So this is another one that for me, that area, that area, you're not really looking at anyways. But if you look at them like this, a quick glance, cool. You know exactly what they are. But that's where your whole eye is going to look. Now, stylistically, we got some cool things that are going on. Because of this light spot and because of this light spot, right? The light kind of extends back to here. This bird, right, has a lot of movement. This lighter area goes around, makes this big S, and then you got one here too that comes around. So this bird has got a lot going on for it, just like this. And I think that's kind of what makes it look pretty cool, right? Got some nice shading in here. Got some nice shading in here. You can, this dark underneath his cheek. Underneath his cheek, I guess his cheek is here. The back of his head here really helps keep this a circle, but leaving this little bit open right here helps to connect the light here and the light here and helps your eye continue to transition down. I like that you can see where his wing goes. This really should extend up a little bit. If I had done this right, this could have extended up a little bit more and we'd have had more of a small band here. But that's cool. You know exactly where that wing is, right? We've got a little bit of dark along the back ridge here. It's not so much that it's distracting. It's just enough to let you know, yeah, that color kind of bends over the edge there. And then this little bit, I would have made this a little bit darker, but again, had to recover from an unfortunate oversight. This little bit of dark next to this light, next to that dark, makes it gives it some dimension to what we're doing with it. And then that hard line really sets that wing off on the bottom side. A lot to like about this little bird. I'm really excited about this. So that's it. That's it for this one anyways. Let's see. I have no idea what I'm going to do next week. I've got 4 or 5 or 6 different things drawn around here. Maybe we'll do one of those. If anybody has any suggestions, I'm open to that. I got Bearded Iris down here as one to probably do in 2 weeks for the challenge overall. Be looking for a video, just a standard video for me. I have to start doing some regular videos. I've been doing these live streams for, what have I been back doing these for, 1.5 years or more now. And this venue alone for me is not quite enough to get my channel monetized. So if I'm going to get my channel monetized again, get it back to where it's monetized, I'm going to have to start doing some regular videos. And so look for that video that's coming out, and then I'm hoping to have maybe one a week or one every other week for the next month or so. We'll see how that goes. Dwayne, I will send you a link to my fishing channel in Discord if you want. I'm trying to have a lot of fun with that and be a little bit lighter and enjoy that. I'm enjoying the fishing. Hope I enjoy the channel. That's all I've got for you all. I want to thank you all for joining me on this Wednesday and making my Wednesday a lot of fun. So this is a great end to my Wednesday. I look forward to this all week long. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I hope you're able to join me back here again next week when we do this all over again. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.